How sweep it is for the second consecutive weekend, back-to-back weekends. OU gets a sweep in SEC play. They come from behind on Sunday, down 3-0 to the Arkansas Razorbacks, but behind a great offense and another great appearance from Sam Landry. Oklahoma wins it 10-7. 10 base hits for the Sooners. And wow, what a wild, fun Sunday afternoon it was. Arkansas takes the early lead. OU punches back. Arkansas makes it interesting again. OU comes back again. Just an overall a very, very good day. You never complain about a win in conference play, certainly in the SEC. And I'm not about to start doing that today. So let's break this down. A lot of topics to cover. Let's start with OU's 10-7 win over Arkansas. Sooners have now won 14 straight over the Hogs and are 26-0 on the season. Love that. Well, I don't love that they gave up the 3-run bomb in the first inning, but I love that they took a punch and they punched right back. Scored 6 in the top of the second inning. Gabby Garcia, the home run off the top of the wall, which is, came down to a review. OU gets the benefit of that. It's a home run. And then, of course, Nelly hits that 3-run bomb to make it 6-3. So you have the 2 home runs in the top of the second inning. I just love the way that they responded in that top half of the second inning. Arkansas had some early momentum, but OU said, watch this. And we'll talk more about their ability to respond coming up next. But just love the way that Gabby Garcia is playing right now. Love the way that Nelly is hitting the softball right now. And a very underrated play that you won't remember maybe from this game, or it's not going to be talked about enough. How about the play from Ilana Agbayani in the top of the second inning? You got something going, and she's at first base. I think it was Emmerling hit a ground ball to the second baseman. Did she avoid the tag? Yeah, I think that she avoided the tag. And instead of a double play and nobody on with 2 outs, Agbayani goes to second base because she avoids the tag. She later scores on a ball in the gap, and then the runs really started coming. So, I've seen some complaints. Saw some complaints in the comment section yesterday. Some very, very small complaints about base running. That was a very, very good base running play by Ilana Agbayani, and a very big play in that inning that kept things going. Real quick, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. OU softball, it's what we do here. Also talk a lot of SEC softball as well. Bree Ellis hit the 2-run tank to make it 6-5. I thought Hannah Core was going to make that play. It hit off of her glove, but she just looked super athletic going up after that ball. And yes, Jada spoiled us because Jada always made those plays, but Hannah Core got some leap. She's got some athleticism, and she's going to make that play at some point. I think Hannah Core, maybe it'll be in the Women's College World Series. She's going to make that play at some point, and she almost made it today. Gabby Garcia with a 2-run home run to make it 8-5. Arkansas had some errors later in the game, and you really started to see them unravel, especially when OU punched back that second time. They got up 3-0, and the crowd's in it. Yeah, we got our chance to beat Oklahoma. OU scores 6. They come back with a 2-run home run. All right, we're back in this game. Let's go, 6-5. And Gabby Garcia hits a 2-run home run. They just know how to take the crowd out of the game and just crush the opposing team and all their hopes of winning it. So you kind of felt that in the crowd on Sunday. Again, the errors by Arkansas, uncharacteristic. They were number 1 in fielding percentage in the SEC. Started to unravel a little bit as OU punched back that second time. But I thought the defense overall played pretty solid. Hannah Core had the great full extension grab in center field. And it was just a good day, a very, very good day for the offense. Isabella Smith got the start, gave up the 3-run home run. Thought Peyton Monticelli looked very good in the second inning, no runs allowed. Kirsten Deal she's got to find it, and I hope that she is able to find it, but not the best version of herself. 2 2/3 with the 4-run runs, but Sam Landry, your ace, just comes and shuts the door and gets 3 innings of scoreless softball. After Arkansas had really been pounding the ball and getting a lot of hits, Sam Landry completely shut it down, so give a lot of credit to her. But it's a win. It's a 10-7 win. You take it, you move on. Arkansas is now 1-5 in SEC play, but I still think they're a good softball team. I do. I still think they're a good softball team. Oklahoma's just that good, and they're playing that level right now, and they have a lot of ways to win. But happy with it, happy with the sweep, and you'll certainly take a 6-0 start in SEC play. Biggest takeaways of the weekend, I've got several. I'll limit it to just a couple because we have so many other things to talk about. What was your biggest takeaway? Drop it in the comments. But maybe more than anything else, and it's just something that continues to happen with this team, and it's something that's happened so many years now with this program, is OU might take a jab. They might take a jab, but they're going to deliver with an absolute haymaker punch. And they did that multiple times, even today in the game on Sunday. They get behind 3-0 in the first inning. Arkansas's got all the early momentum. You feel like, oh boy, like OU's going to have to score a lot of runs today to get this win. And they come back with 6 runs of their own in the top of the second inning. 2 home runs in that top of the second. One by Gabby Garcia, and then a 3-run bomb by Nelly. And it's just, this team always responds. This team always punches back. There was a moment later in the game where Arkansas got a couple of runs, but there's Oklahoma once again to respond. Just when you feel like you're in a good situation against this team, you feel like maybe you have their back against the wall, they come out fighting, they come out punching every single time. And the fact that it's happened so many times with this year's team, and the fact that it's happened so many times over the years, I've seen it, I expect it, but it's still amazing to me the frequency that it happens. This team has got a heart of a champion. This program's got a heart of a champion. They are champions, and they just know how to fight back. They know how to push back, and they know how to punch back. And, you know, a team can go from feeling like they're in a great spot against Oklahoma to 30 minutes later, they feel like, we're not going to win this game because here comes Oklahoma. Their ability to punch back time after time after time, they're never intimidated. They're never scared. They're the intimidator. It makes me happy talking about it on this Sunday because it's so fun. Because now it's almost the expectation that somebody scores 2 or 3 runs. Okay, that's cute. Watch Oklahoma and what they're about to do in the top or the bottom half of this inning. And they did it once again today in a Sunday crowd against Arkansas, and just very, very impressed. So their ability to take a jab and punch back, big takeaway for me once again. Huge reason why they were able to not only win, but sweep this weekend series. And then as well, they just got multiple ways to win. You know, you were up 1-0 going into the top of the 7th inning in game 1. Now, you ultimately won the game 7-0, but for a while, that was a struggle at the plate, and Sam Landry had to be perfect in the circle, and she was. So you won that game. It was a close game for the majority of it. Then you just piled on late, and then they're able to win in a slugfest as well, like they did on Sunday. So they've got multiple ways to win. The offense is really starting to come around for this team. Those are just a couple of my big takeaways. I expect to see this in the comments. I'd be disappointed if you didn't point it out. Several of you pointed it out even Saturday's video after the doubleheader, but I was wrong, guys. I picked OU to win the series, but I picked them to lose game 2. I didn't pick them to sweep. There's got to be repercussions for that. There's got to be a punishment for that. This is the punishment. I've got the clown nose on. What clown would not have picked Oklahoma to sweep this series? Let me adjust this thing a little bit. This is like very, very odd, and I feel like my voice has changed quite a bit as well. So for your entertainment, there you go. I, Tyler McComas, did not pick Oklahoma to sweep this series, and I look like a clown on this Sunday. So I deserve to wear the clown nose. OU look great. They dominated throughout. They are 26-0 now on the season. I can't pick Oklahoma to only win 2 or 3 and there not be a punishment. So here's my punishment. Embarrassing to everyone. I think I got this because I donated $1 at Walgreens, so at least I did something good there, right? They gave me this clown nose. It's like they knew that I was going to mess up this pick this weekend or something. But every time I pick the series wrong, especially if I don't pick Oklahoma to sweep and they do, you can expect the cloud nose. So I'm very happy that I'm wearing the cloud nose on Sunday. It feels weird. It feels awkward. I feel like my voice is totally off. But again, there are repercussions for things like this. Cloud nose on a Sunday because Oklahoma sweeps. And I got to say, I'm happy to wear it. I'll wear the cloud nose every single week if it means OU wins every single game. All right, enough of that. Let's talk about Sam Landry, the ace, because that's what she is. And I don't think that there's any argument to that now. I don't know if there was before going in this weekend, but it certainly that's the case now. Sam Landry is elite. She's legit. She's the ace of this staff. And I do think she is the pitcher that you need to win a national championship. That frontline starter, that frontline ace, Sam Landry is that. Nobody's had a weekend like Sam Landry had in Arkansas this weekend. She was just great. As a starter, as a reliever, and that's what's really impressive to me is it doesn't really matter what spot you put her in. She's going to go out and shut down what I still think, and by the numbers, it says that they are, a pretty good Arkansas offense. Maybe one of the top 4, top 5 offenses in the SEC. And we saw a lot this weekend just how good that Arkansas offense is. You know the only times, though, when Arkansas really struggled at the plates? It's when Sam Landry was in the game. Like, she was that good. 12 shutout innings this weekend. She gets the complete game shutout in game 1. She comes in for the save in game 2. Then she comes in for 3 innings in the finale on Sunday. She's that level. She's special. And I think that she's absolutely, at this point, one of the best pitchers in the SEC, regardless of what the numbers say. And her numbers are very, very good right now. But Sam Landry gives you a chance every single time you go out there. It does not matter who's on the other side. Like, me as a fan, probably you as a fan, all feel that when Sam Landry's in the circle, we're going to win a softball game. And not to say that you don't feel that when other pitchers are in the circle, but I just had this different level of confidence in this team right now when Sam is in there compared to anyone else. And we'll talk about their need to really develop a number 2 pitcher with this rotation. That is kind of a big storyline here moving forward. But let's give Sam Landry her flowers because that was her shining moment in an OU uniform thus far. That's even after pitching a 5-game, perfect game just a few weeks ago. I know some of you are nicknaming her the librarian, but she's got the glasses, but she's just so calm, cool, and collected. She's not fazed by the moment. She's not nervous by the moment. You can put her big crowds in left field, big crowds on the road. It does not really matter. Sam Landry's going to get it done, and she's going to get it done at an incredible level. And it's just amazing to me that an offense on the opposing side can look so great, but the minute Sam Landry steps in as a starter, the minute she steps in as a reliever, forget about it. Game over. It's like they know what we know, is that she's absolutely about to dominate, and you've got no chance to come back from a deficit when you're down to Oklahoma with Sam Landry in the circle. MVP of the week. I don't know who to pick. I really don't. You guys can help me out in the comments. Who was your MVP of the week? Maybe this is a cop-out, but I just, like, there's really 3 that I want to pick here on this Sunday. I want to pick Sam Landry. I want to pick Nelly. And I even want to pick Gabby Garcia, who's on an absolute tear right now. But as you see the rundown, we're about to give Gabby Garcia her own segment. So I'm going to give the MVP to 2 players this week. Nelly was fantastic at the plate. Captain Nelly is stepping up. And that's what a captain is supposed to do. In big-time road series like this or big-time series last week against South Carolina, we're starting to see the best version of Nelly McEnroe-Marinas, and it's a lot of fun. And that's great defense. That's a lot of power. That's just a great pure hitter. And we're starting to see with Nelly at the plate what I thought that we were going to see all the way back in the fall, which is just a ton of just natural power that she has. You know, doesn't have a super long swing that generates a lot of strikeouts. I think she's just really, really strong and can hit the ball out of the ballpark with the best of them. She had the 3-run tank in the top of the 2nd inning that really got things going offensively for OU. And she was just phenomenal throughout the entire weekend. I mean, you just look at what Nelly did. She had the 2 hits in Game 2. She had the home run in Game 1 against Arkansas, 2 hits in that one. And then, of course, another home run in Game 3. Best version of herself right now. Actually, she's only going to get better throughout the rest of her career. But I'm giving Nelly the MVP along with Sam Landry. And you've got to do something special to be a week-long MVP. She pitched in every single game. She was awesome in every single game. And she was by far and away, the best pitcher that OU had. And I wouldn't be shocked, and honestly, it might be my expectation, that Sam Landry is SEC Pitcher of the Week. The way that she dominated Arkansas as a starter and a reliever and just what she did throughout the entire week, I don't really know off the top of my head what else happened in the conference this weekend, but the fact that she had 4 appearances and performed that well, I'm going to be a little surprised and probably a lot disappointed if Sam Landry isn't the SEC Player of the Week. But if nothing else, she's my co-MVP of the week. I think that she was that good. Heck, maybe even Nelly has a chance at SEC Player of the Week or Offensive Player of the Week or, something as well. Maybe OU sweep these awards. We'll see. but I think they at least get one. Just a fantastic weekend for both Sam Landry and Nelly. Who's your overall MVP? Feel free to join me if you want to pick just two and you don't want to pick just one. But both of those were absolutely incredible. Gabby Garcia. Let's talk about her. Let's talk about her for a few minutes here. 7 home runs in her last 10 games. Guys, she's a true freshman. She is a true freshman, Gabby Garcia, and we've entered conference play. This is not all the, OU's just going through a weak patch in the non-conference schedule or anything like that. No, they just played a good South Carolina team. They just played a very good Arkansas team. And yes, better pitching staffs are coming down the road, but no one else. Is there anyone else in college softball that's hit 7 home runs in their last 10 games? She is doing that right now as a true freshman. And I will proudly admit, I didn't expect this from Gabby Garcia. I don't know if anyone did, but I sure didn't expect this from Gabby Garcia. I expected her to be in the mix and probably win out at shortstop for that starting job. She secured that spot. It's hers, and I think it might be hers for the next 3.5, essentially 4 seasons for her. It's hard to not get really excited about her, not just in the now, but what it's going to look like as she continues to improve. She's hitting the ball hard. She's hitting the ball out of the park. And why I say I didn't expect this from Gabby is I didn't expect this type of power. I expected her to hit the ball well and to be good offensively. She wouldn't be as highly ranked as she was, or she wouldn't be recruited by Oklahoma if she wasn't good at the plates. But the power numbers that she's giving you right now, I did not expect it. I did not expect it at all. Again, I don't know if anybody did, but it's at an elite level right now. 7 home runs in the last 10 games, and she added a couple of more on Sunday. And then just defensively, she's so good, man. Just so smooth. She's just confident right now. You are getting a true freshman, yes, that is playing at an extremely confident level, and this is what you're getting. You're getting a shortstop that goes from a question mark to really it's been a strength of this team so far in SEC play. And I try not to put a ton of expectations, especially on someone who's a true freshman player, but it's hard not to get really excited about the now, about the future, but then to say out loud that, guys, I think that she's the next great at shortstop. And we got a long way to go. She's still got a lot to prove. There have been great shortstops up and down this program for a long, long time, several All-Americans. But I do feel like today, after the small sample size, the 26 games we've seen of Gabby Garcia, she's got every opportunity to be the next great. An All-American, multi-time All-American, All-SEC, like everything that's out there, she's got a chance to accomplish that. I think that she's special. I think she's playing with a ton of confidence right now. I think she's a lot of fun to watch. I think she's really easy to root for and turn into one of our favorites as well. Cannot say enough good things about Gabby Garcia. And she entered this weekend hot, and she stays hot. And I hope she continues to hit the ball to the level that she has the previous 10 games. Can OU Five-peats? Well, 26-0, the only undefeated team left in all of college softball. Can OU Five-peat? Yes, OU can Five-peat. They can absolutely win another national championship this year. They are in that same group as Florida. They're in that same group as Texas or UCLA or whoever else you think are the main national championship contenders. OU is in that group, and they're in that group for a lot of reasons. Because of what it looks like when they're at their best offensively. Because they have the ace in Sam Landry that you need to win the national championship. Because they're great defensively. Because, they make a couple of mistakes here and there, but they're a good base running team. They've got all the intangibles, all the things that you need to Five-peat. So, yes, of course, absolutely. They're 26-0. They're 6-0 in the SEC right now. Oklahoma can Five-peat. Yes, they are in that conversation. I think the biggest thing, though, now moving forward is can OU find that legitimate number 2 pitcher? Because as good as Sam Landry is and as good as Sam Landry was throughout this week, you can't count on her to pitch every single game like she did this week. Isabella Smith is going to have to regain the form. Kirsten Deal is going to have to be better. She's going to have to be more consistent. She's going to have to attack the strike zone a lot earlier in counts. She can't fall behind hitters. This pitching staff outside of Sam Landry can't give up, 0-2 home runs or 0-2 hard hit balls. I like Landry a lot, but someone's really got to step up in that second pitcher role. And I think it's going to be as Isabella Smith. I think that she's going to regain some of the form that we saw in the non-conference portion of the schedule, but I'm also hoping that that's the case. And I'm recording this right now, so I'm not hearing Patty Gasso at the end of the game, but kind of mysterious that we didn't see Audrey Lowry this weekend. Audrey Lowry, who pitched Wednesday at Tulsa, she got the start there. I thought she might get the start today, but that wasn't the case. We didn't see her all weekend long. Monticelli was good in relief on Sunday. She had the 1 innings pitch, no earned runs, so you still like her in a relief role, but who's going to be that number 2 arm? Who's going to be that second arm that can take some pressure off of Sam Landry? As we look at things now, and it's still kind of early in the season, even though we're in conference play, we got a long way to go. We got a lot of things to sort out. Things can certainly change, but right now, can OU five-peat? Absolutely. But what's the biggest thing that needs to happen to ensure that? They got to continue to get better everywhere, but they've got to find that number 2 arm in the rotation. And lastly, a look around the SEC. Some of these Sunday games are going on. There's a game on Monday in Gainesville, Florida, so don't know the results of that, though we do know that Texas is going to win that series at Florida. Did not see that coming. I thought Florida would win 2 of 3. That's not the case. Texas swept Florida in the doubleheader on Saturday. Horns won 7-2 and 13-7. Hey, you got to give credit where it's due. That is super impressive to sweep a doubleheader against anyone in the SEC, but to sweep it against a team like Florida and do it at their place. Like, Texas is very, very good, and I had the opinion that maybe we haven't seen Texas just flex yet. That was a flex yesterday. Going to Florida and winning 2 games like they did, that's big for just their overall confidence and overall big for their SEC title hopes. You know, they got to go to Florida and to Oklahoma, and to already win that series and maybe even sweep it, we'll see on Monday, is huge for Texas getting out in front of the conference standings here and not taking a series loss in their first SEC series. A&M took the first 2 from Auburn. Not shocking there. Thought A&M would go out and win that series. A&M lost 2 of 3 to Florida last weekend. I think A&M is good and going to be a tough out. Georgia and South Carolina, that's been a fun series. Georgia won the first game. South Carolina walked it off in the second game. That's going to be a fun Sunday finale. LSU won the first 2 over Kentucky. I picked a sweep there. Not that surprising that the Tigers are handling Kentucky in Baton Rouge. And then, of course, Oklahoma swept, in case you didn't hear. And OU's in a very good spot right now. I mean, look, the ultimate goal is the national championship. But I'd like to win the SEC in year 1. I'd like to bust down the door year 1 and say, hey, went ahead and just won that conference. I want the national championship more than anything, but I'll be a little bit greedy, and I want that SEC title. And now that Oklahoma's played 2 series and they're 6-0, they're really kind of out in front of things. You know, Florida already has 3 conference losses now. And, you know, you'll go to Florida at the end of the year, and you still got to play Texas, and you still got to play Tennessee. But early on, and not everyone's played the 6 conference games, I understand that, but Oklahoma's off to a very nice start in SEC play and doing themselves a lot of favors if they want to win the SEC this year. Florida, not so much. As of Sunday afternoon, they've got 3 conference games, or 3 conference losses, and maybe by the end of Monday night, they would have 4. So if you're doing a SEC power poll right now, I think you got to put Oklahoma and Texas 1 and 2 right now. LSU looks really good as well. Maybe you still think Florida's there. I still think Florida's really good and going to be there at the end. But Oklahoma and Texas right now, I think, are the 2 best teams in the SEC. We got a ways to go until we see those 2 teams play. Both teams have tough matchups along the road before they face each other. But the old Big 12 teams look really, really good. Really, really good. Long way to go, but very impressed with the Sooners, of course, and even what Texas was able to do Saturday at Florida. All right. Fun Sunday, fun weekend. Broke it all down, celebrated a sweep. I wore a clown nose. Hopefully I don't have to do that again next weekend. We'll see. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. A ton of content coming out this week as we recap what happened in Fayetteville and look forward to the road series coming up at Missouri. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Talk soon. As always, appreciate you watching.